Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz & Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz & Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Danika Scott. She is an artist based right here in Toronto. How you doing today, Danika?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, Brad?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you very much, first of all, for taking the time to participate in the podcast and help grow this community by participating. I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's a real honor to be on your podcast.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. So let's jump right in. So Danika, you graduated from the University of Victoria with a Bachelor of Science and a combined major in biology and psychology. How did you get from there to becoming an artist?
I actually started as an artist. So painting and drawing has always been a passion of mine. I've been doing it for as long as I can remember. But then throughout school, I did quite well academically. I also am very curious about the mind and body. So in elementary school, middle school, and high school, I usually could get all my homework done. And then after school, I would just paint, draw, and spend my afternoons and evenings doing that.
Right.
So I thought I would be able to do that in university as well, but there was a lot more work. So I really thought I could do both.
Okay.
It's just university had a lot more studying, a lot more. I kind of stopped painting during that time.
Okay.
To keep up my grades. I had a scholarship.
Mm-hmm. How was that transition to artist from being a scholar for you?
Well, actually, okay, that was a bit nerve-wracking. Because I was giving up. I used to be a research assistant at the Vaccine Evaluation Center. So after I graduated from university, I went to work at BC Children's Hospital. I'm actually originally from BC. Mm-hmm. So that was a really good job. I had good hours, worked with a great crew of people, had medical benefits. It's meaningful work, but it just wasn't my heart's calling. Yeah. So it was scary for me to give that up because of the uncertainty around being an artist. I didn't know if I would make it. Giving
the
up
whole
that
starving artist thing, right?
Yes, because you still have to pay bills.
Yes, the bills don't stop coming in because you decide that you want to be an artist.
Yes, that's exactly the problem. That was the problem.
If only they did.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely. So it was quite a difficult transition for you.
I was just scared because I didn't know if it was going to work. Mm-hmm. And it took me a while to make that leap of faith.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right. Well, I think that's the thing with any entrepreneurship. It's the unknown. And I think that's what holds a lot of people back is the fear of the unknown. And they just say, forget it. I can't do this. I don't know what's going to happen. There's no certainty here.
Yeah. That's it's taking a risk. I guess I'm taking a risk for something better in the hopes of getting something better.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. So at what point did you realize or know that you absolutely had to do it? You had to follow your heart and pursue the artist path that was in you.
Okay. So there were a lot of hints along the way.
Okay.
For example, when I went to university, and I wasn't drawing as much because I did have scholarship and I was doing the sciences, so it required a lot of work in my spare time. Mm-hmm. But when I was in class and reading my textbook, I would just be daydreaming about painting, drawing, creating a piece of artwork. I would actually visualize what I wanted to create, imagine myself painting, and I'd get so lost in that I couldn't focus even if I was reading. Mm-hmm. So for a while. Actually, I pushed all the way through university. I tried to ignore that.
Yeah.
But then even when I went to work at the vaccine center, although the job was rewarding and it is important research, it still didn't feel like my calling, whereas art does that for me.
Mm-hmm. It's an incredible feeling when you have that call, when you just know that this is not meant for you. There's something else out there, and you know what that is, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I just couldn't stop dreaming about it to the point that I wasn't present in the work I was doing.
Yeah. And that comes through in your work too, when you're not there, when you're not really there.
It does.
You know, so it's not good. You need to follow your heart.
Yeah, it actually made studying at university hard because I'd have to reread the same sentence over and over again.
And you can't just shut that feeling out. You can't shut it down. It's there, and it won't go away. And those are the signs, like you said, those are the signs that you can't ignore.
Yeah, I tried to ignore them, and I guess what I should say is originally when I was going to university, I mentioned earlier I thought I could do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I thought I would get my Bachelor of Science, then do the biomedical communications degree at the University of Toronto, which mm-hmm. is medical illustrations. You're using graphic design software to draw the hearts or the body.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't quite get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always a chance to go back. So where was this? But yes, when I was studying my undergrad, I was actually surprised that I just didn't have time for my art like I did in high school. Right.
Yeah, university will take up a hell of a lot more time, that's for sure.
Well, in high school and in secondary school, I did all my homework in class. So basically at the end of the day, I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, you had all the time in the world to do your artwork.
Yes. And I still was an A on the honor roll, A+ student. And then I was expecting to be able to do that at university. It was a bit naive. I quickly found out.
Well, you learned rather quickly, right?
I did in my first year there.
So your work has been described as realism type work. Why did you decide to go that route with your artwork?
So realistic images have always appealed to me. Since I was young, I admired a lot of realistic painters like Robert Bateman. He's a Canadian wildlife artist.
Yeah.
That's just for one example. I also have a high level of attention for detail. Mm-hmm. I'm very technical. And I'm a bit perfectionistic, so it's almost like I was compelled to go that way. As I'm creating, I just want to keep bringing out the form more and more.
Yeah.
I actually hope at some point this is a bit of a journey. My art is a journey of self-discovery. So I do hope to always keep an element of realism in my work.
Right.
But I would like to get a bit more expressive, maybe in combining a little bit of abstraction to bring more emotion into it. Mm-hmm. That doesn't come as easily to me. I did do some intuitive painting classes with Tiz D'Angelo. She's a artist in King City.
Okay.
And her art's completely different than mine. It's not, she doesn't look at an image. It's just intuitive painting. So it's really pushing those creative limits. It was almost a little scary for me to do it.
Yeah.
But I like that challenge, and I like to go into sometimes the areas that are a bit uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Well, as they say, nothing good comes from comfort zones, right?
No, I guess you have to get out of your comfort zone to grow and move forward.
That's right. How long have you been painting? When did you start? How old were you?
Oh boy. I've been painting my entire life, I guess. Obviously not when I was 1, but maybe 2.5, 3.
Okay.
Wow. I don't know if I started with painting then, but I know my mom has stories about when I was young. Mm-hmm. I do think 2.5, 3 or so. I used to love puzzles, and I loved coloring in coloring books at first.
Yeah.
Now my grandma on my mom's side used to babysit us a lot or look after us while my mom was working.
Yeah.
She has some pretty interesting ideas, and she was not supportive of me coloring in coloring books. So at a very young age, she took them away and gave me blank paper and crayons.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, she told me that I wasn't allowed to use coloring books. I didn't understand. No, I didn't understand at the time.
Yeah.
But I was never one to argue. So I just accepted that that was the way it was. And I continued to draw with the crayons on paper.
Okay.
I guess like I've always loved this because my sister Kira, and then he's actually my cousin Garrett, but he's growing up with us. They didn't. They just didn't draw. Like, you know, you took away the coloring books and they moved on to something else.
So your grandmother encouraged this then?
Yeah, she really believed that like me drawing within someone else's lines was stifling my creativity.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if it was a good or bad thing, but it did make me start drawing my own pictures at a young age.
Well, I think it was a good thing because look at the art you create now. It's beautiful. I think it was a great idea.
Thanks, Brad.
No problem. So obviously then you started off drawing. Okay.
Yes, I did start off, I believe I started off drawing, but then moved pretty quickly into painting.
Okay.
Because I do have, like when I was 4 or 5, I was for sure already painting. I know this because we used to come out. So my dad's side of the family is from here in Ontario. My mom's whole side is from BC.
Okay.
So initially I grew up in BC. And then each summer we'd come out for like 5 to 6 weeks to visit my grandparents out here. So this is on my dad's side of the family. And my grandma here was an acrylic painter. She's very talented, good with lots of crafts. And I remember her, like, she would set up a painting station outside for us. And she taught me how to paint with acrylics first.
Okay.
How to mix the paint, how to create clouds, sailboats, and I loved it. So I was probably 4 or 5 when that started.
Wow. Okay. So it wasn't very long with the drawing. You moved quite quickly into painting.
Look, I continue to go back and forth between the two, like both.
So I read that you stepped away from painting and being creative. You were going through and dealing with some personal health struggles. Can you tell us a bit about that period in your life?
Yes, that was something of a long, dark period, and it overlaps with my time at university in the vaccine center. Things started to get darker in my last year of high school for me. I have high levels of anxiety, and I was especially insecure when I was younger. Like always, I was a people pleaser, looking for outward approval of love and acceptance. And I think I lost myself a little bit. And in that space, to cope with, I guess, the high levels of anxiety too, I developed an eating disorder. So I've had a long-standing battle with anorexia and bulimia, which also was probably part of the reason why when I was at university and even working, it took up a fair amount of time as well.
Right.
Which left me tired and exhausted, and I just didn't have the energy to create. So I don't really know what came first, if I stopped drawing first to try to get perfect grades and then I got depressed, but they really overlapped.
Okay. Now, how did those struggles help you to find your voice and style as an artist later on?
Okay, so I guess there's always a silver lining to everything.
Yeah.
So they forced me to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I've had to do a lot of inner work. It's also because of those struggles and in the recovery process that I've learned to come back to myself, that I even became aware that I've just been ignoring my like intuition, my internal voice in hopes of pleasing other people. So, and it was also because of these struggles, like I did get ill enough that I had to actually stop work because I was hospitalized several times.
Wow.
Yeah, there were some bad moments. But so the treatment team at St. Paul's, that's the eating disorder, that's a hospital in Vancouver.
Okay.
Told me that I needed to take time off work to focus all of my energy on getting better. Because I had a tendency of like, you know, I'm being hospitalized and then I would be spending the entire time in there, like trying to do work or schoolwork because I didn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
Take your
getting
mind
better.
off things, right?
Well, it was easier. Like to me, like studying instead of dealing with my emotions was easier, or facing the things that I feared the most. So anyways, so I did eventually agree to stop working. and go into a recovery treatment center. And over the months I was there, I realized, like, it became really clear to me that I didn't want to go back to the vaccine center. Like, I didn't want to go back all day to doing a job that wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
I felt like I was kind of wasting my time or wasting this gift. So it kind of was like my life fell apart. But because of that, it made me take that leap of faith to follow my artwork.
Okay. So some good came out of it.
Yes.
Like you said, silver lining, right?
And I mean, I have done a lot more personal growth. I don't know if, like, I've become much more spiritual. I've taken time just to breathe and enjoy the moment, whereas before I was constantly rushing from one thing to the next, just trying to produce.
Yeah. I also read that as part of your recovery journey, not only did you use art, but you also turned to yoga and meditation. How is that helpful on your road to self-healing and recovery?
Well, with high levels of anxiety, I have a racing mind that tends to go like a mile a minute. And it also it used to always anticipate the worst. I would think the worst possible outcome is going to happen to me. So it caused me to live into like a chronic state of fear.
Yeah.
This is where breathing came in. So the body and the body's always in the present moment. And the breath is kind of the link between the unconscious and conscious mind. So it took me a long time to do seated meditation. At first, I couldn't even do a minute. It was just like, I guess my levels of anxiety were so out of control. My mind was racing so fast that it was like painstaking.
Your mind wouldn't rest.
No. And also the idea of mindfulness meditation is just to gently bring your attention back. I tend to be self-critical. So I've learned self-compassion over my healing journey. It's active work still, but I have made lots of progress.
Good.
So
that's good to hear.
Yoga came in for me because I couldn't do seated meditation. So then it was suggested that I do gentle yoga classes.
Okay.
So I started with like hatha yoga. And what I did find is, because you're following an instructor, I actually like going to the classes. And they move your body into, one shape. You hold it for 5 flowing breaths, and then you change into another posture. I would space out a lot, but it was like hearing the instructor every time we had to change our body. It was like a point of focus to come back to.
Right.
And there are constant reminders in yoga to focus on your breathing and reconnect to the body, which again is in the present moment. So that kind of takes, it's not possible for me to be connected to my body in the present moment and also be panicked about like some future event.
Yeah.
And eventually this just helped me to do seated meditations.
Okay.
And now I usually start my morning with a meditation, either 10 to 20 minutes. And I'm not present for the full time, but my mind, it can calm it a lot.
So you've come a long way. That's good.
Yes, it's taken years, lots of practice.
Yep, that's it.
To the point that I actually enjoy it now.
Well, that's
used
good.
To dread meditation or mindfulness breathing, but now I look forward to it.
That's awesome. What excites or inspires you about being an artist?
Getting to do what I love all day. I look forward to it. Versus, I know, like for example, when I was studying the sciences, definitely wasn't listening to my calling. It felt like work, like I had to force myself to start studying. Whereas it doesn't feel like, I guess there's sometimes I've got to motivate myself, but it's much more enjoyable. Like I really can spend hours drawing.
Yeah.
And it's not painstaking. I also like just the ability to create, to express myself. Sometimes I have a hard time with words. It's almost easier for me to put my emotions into images.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes when my words fail me, I feel like I can communicate something better in art form. And I also, as I'm drawing, it's another, how I said an overactive mind? I do have a hard time just sitting and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Painting and drawing, it's still it's very restful and peaceful, but it's a little bit it's slightly active. So I can really focus my attention on each pencil stroke or brush stroke. And then I kind of just go, I guess, to my happy place, like my worries and fears.
You just get right into it, right?
Yeah, it's a great relief from those pressures of everyday life.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about your process when you sit down to create a piece of art?
Sure. It does vary a little bit depending on like what medium I'm using. Essentially, like if I'm creating art for myself, sometimes ideas will come to me, usually I guess when I'm daydreaming, and I'll see something in an image that I want to portray. And then I usually can get a clear image of what I want. And then because it doesn't yet exist, I'll have to use a compilation of photos to reference. So sometimes I get my sister to pose for me.
Okay.
Because in order to draw as realistically as I do, I use reference material.
Right.
But let's just say if I'm doing a pencil sketch, I would then start with a blank piece of paper. I use a harder lead pencil, so it's in the H range. Maybe a 4 because it's lighter. And just lightly block in the basic shapes. Add volume to these shapes. And then I'll block in smaller basic shapes, so like the eyes, the nose, ears, if I'm doing a portrait.
Yeah.
I keep referencing the photo, like I look back at it, and then I will define the outline. Once I'm happy with that, I then usually switch my pencil to a softer lead. I still might stay in use an H pencil, which is actually harder, but it's in the hard range. It's softer than a 4H.
Okay.
Like block in the shadows and do, shadow mapping. So just I have a general idea where the shadows are going to go. And then when I'm happy with that, I'll move on to using like a 2B pencil to really darken up the shadows. And I will do several layers of shading, moving up between a 2B pencil, 4B, 6B to get really dark. So then you can see like the shadows, highlights, reflections. So the image looks 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
And with pencil, I've learned too that at the end you need to spray it with either a workable or final fixative, because otherwise we'll keep smudging. So like if I go back to some of my drawings when I was like 12, 13, 14, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And now just being in a book with the page closed, they're all kind of, the darks are no longer dark and the lights are no longer light. It's all like this one gray color.
Okay. Where do you pull your inspiration from when creating art?
Oh, that varies. As I gave the example above, usually an idea will come to me, and then I do look out to the material world for inspiration to help me really portray what I'm visualizing on the page. I get my sister to pose for me a lot because I don't have to pay her. And she puts up with me being annoying when I'm like, no, it's not right. I need you to change this, change that. I will also use pictures from friends and families. I sometimes like make collages by going through a number of different magazines, because a lot of the time what I'm visualizing doesn't exist, but like there are pieces that I can find in other photos or like
right
here or there. I sometimes go onto Pinterest. They have like great color schemes there. And I do pull in, like I follow a number of artists on Instagram. I like going to art galleries, so that can also be inspiring.
Okay. Which artists do you look up to personally and admire?
Okay, there's a lot.
Give me your top three.
Top three. So I like probably Leonardo da Vinci is my favorite. He's one of the high Renaissance painters. He painted the Mona Lisa. I also like Peter Paul Rubens, or Sir Peter Paul Rubens. He's from the Baroque era, so he's European artist too, but like the century afterwards. Both of them painted, I guess that I don't want to say religious because sometimes that can have a bad connotation, but at the time, very spiritual paintings, and there's an element of realism in there. But I don't know, I admire their oil paintings. They look fabulous. Their color schemes are incredible to me. I also like the flow and the softness in the way they created their humans. I don't know if you've been to the AGO. Sir Peter Paul Rubens was there. It was incredible.
No, I haven't been to the AGO in quite a while, actually.
Okay, well, I used to go regularly until COVID. I haven't been since, I don't know, like 8 months, but And then who else I'm trying my third one. Maybe I'll go with Banksy. He's a present day artist. He's a street artist.
Yes, I've heard of Banksy.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's not afraid to make a political statement.
Yeah.
And yeah, his art is very different than mine, but it inspires me. I admire it. His images are intriguing.
But don't they say nobody knows who he is?
Apparently, I mean, well, I've Googled him. There's some suspected photos of who he is.
That's so funny. And he's been around for a while.
Yes, he has.
It's funny that no one knows who he is, really.
We don't know for sure that is true. I think that that works for him. It's part of the mystery of.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful as an artist?
I had to think about this one, but I think I'm super sensitive, and that is both a blessing and a curse.
Right.
But as an artist or creative people, they have to often say are quite sensitive. I think this brings a greater depth of emotion to my work, or will even help me as I keep progressing and growing, bring more emotion to my paintings so that I can move my audience.
And that's the whole point of it, is to move your audience.
Yes, I want people to feel look at them and feel something.
Yes, absolutely. What profession, other than being an artist, would you like to attempt in life?
Maybe working for CSIS, our Canada's, Security Intelligence Service. It's very different from being an artist, but I do have an analytical mind, and the mystery of the job, it intrigues me, as well as these people are involved in making our national security plans for the entire country. I have not looked enough into it, but I guess also, down in the States, the FBI and CIA interested me.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be quite an interesting career, that's for sure.
I'm sure it would be a lot different than what I've experienced in life so far.
Yes, I would say so. Can you share a situation that's occurred in your life that you feel provides insight to your character, who Danika is?
Yes, I'm honest. My mother used to say honest to a fault. Even when I was younger and would want to lie in order to maybe tell a white lie to protect someone's feelings or to prevent myself from getting in trouble, I can't look someone in the eye and lie. Even if I manage to get the words out, my tone of voice and body language completely give it away. I used to my mom said I would get a deer in the headlights look. So when we were children, if she thought we were up to anything, she knew to target me.
Danika will give it up.
Yes, she knew that right away. I don't know. They didn't have as much guilt around it. I just felt like it was so wrong. I didn't want to betray them, but that's the way it worked.
That's so funny. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
I've received a lot of great advice because this life is all about growth.
Yeah.
But possibly to be patient. Don't be so hard on myself.
Okay.
Trust the process. And also sometimes you just have to say screw it. Someone told me that because I tend to be perfectionistic, trying to make things so perfect that can cause a high amount of stress.
Yeah.
That just to let go.
Okay.
And, if I can just let go and relax and trust the process, life's a lot more peaceful.
For sure. How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
This has changed as I've grown up. I think it's important to mention because when I was younger, I very much looked to the outward, materialistic world to define success, and I strove really hard to try to get, the perfect career, perfect education. It was in my family, education was held up high on a pedestal. That's why I wanted the master's. I also thought I would need the perfect partner, have a lot of money. So basically the big house, big car kind of thing. I do not define success like that anymore. I found that as I worked so hard to try to get that, but I always fell by my yardstick, I always fell short. And it just made me feel depressed, worthless. And it really is no way to live, like constantly striving to be somewhere where you're not.
Yeah.
Now, I think success is acceptance. Like when I can just accept myself for exactly how I am showing up in the world in this moment. Perhaps participating in life versus fighting it. So I'm just allowing life to unfold as it's meant to.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I can get quiet in my mind and peace in my heart.
That's amazing. Success is acceptance. I love it. Personal acceptance or self-acceptance.
Yeah. I guess all of it. Acceptance of myself, acceptance of the moment.
Yeah. I love that.
Thank you.
What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Being out in nature. Like when I step outside and breathe in the fresh air, that grounds me. I love being out in the forest. And I also like being down at the beach looking out over the ocean. Really anywhere, even in a city park.
Mm-hmm.
I feel more like my best self than when I'm locked up indoors, especially with the window closed.
Yeah.
Like outside calms me. It reminds me I can get so caught up in like, the hustle and bustle of life that like sometimes just stepping outside and reconnecting with nature, it can slow everything down.
For sure. What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
Yeah, this was one of those deep questions I had to think about. To walk my own path. I don't know if I came into this world, but when I was young child, adolescence, was a big people pleaser. I looked outwardly for love and acceptance, and I tried to make everyone around me happy and I like ignoring my own voice in hopes of pleasing others. But what I ended up doing was just almost running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I was always panicked. It seemed like there was never enough time. I didn't know how to set boundaries back then. Mm-hmm. So in essence, I was walking everyone else's path for me, which they all kind of conflicted because when you're trying to please multiple people, they have different wants and needs.
Yeah, absolutely. You're never going to be able to please everyone.
No, I fell short. Like, that's exactly it. I would fall short. Sometimes I'd try to please my mom, which would contradict with pleasing my grandma. Mm-hmm. And then I would upset one of them. So it was not a happy way to live.
No, definitely not.
As I've learned to come more back to myself, check in with like, I guess my heart, what I want, what I pause to feel, what my core values are, and walking my own path. It's not as chaotic. I find there's more time in the day. I have more maybe inner power because I'm less afraid to set boundaries. Ongoing. Mm-hmm. This is still an ongoing growth experience for me. I still have to work at it because I have the tendency to want to please, but I'm getting better at just, I guess, following my own path.
That's good, though. At least you recognize that it takes the work, and you've got to continue to put the work in.
Yes, I do.
That's a good thing. How would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered as a creator, as someone who brought beauty into the world versus destruction. And like that's also where my artwork comes in. I would like to create paintings that will outlive me, that people can look back on in history, and that means something.
That's beautiful. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Maybe searching. I don't know if that's quite the right word.
No, right? It's whatever word you feel is right.
That's the first one that came to me.
Okay.
I am more at peace now in the present moment and with myself than I ever have been before. And I still want to grow more, see more of the world, find more of my own style as an artist. I think I'm moving in that direction. Mm-hmm. Perhaps even find out more about myself too.
Yeah.
So this comes back to accepting where I'm at. I think you can have both. I think you can accept where you're at, and also strive for
sure.
more, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What makes you smile?
Puppies and dogs. There's lots of things that make me smile, but I really love dogs.
Do you own a dog? Do you have a dog?
Not of my own, but I was living with my aunt and uncle, and they have 2 dogs, so I get the benefit of the dogs.
Ah, there you go. That's always good. And
Yeah, no, I love them. Lady's a Cocker Spaniel. She's like this big furry little teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
And then Finnegan is a schnoodle, so he's a Schnauzer / poodle mix.
Okay.
He's smaller, but he is like the smartest dog I've ever met, and he's so full of energy. Like that dog. At home I often say like he's better than TV. You could walk him the entire day. Like he would keep you busy. He likes to play too.
Dogs are great. I love them.
Yeah.
Money or fame?
How about financial independence?
Sure.
What I really want is to, with my art, make enough money to live just a comfortable life, like have all my basic needs met.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly give back to my family, and it would be nice to make a little extra so I could give back to people that have helped me, the world around me.
Yeah.
And then just be able to make my own choices in life and not feel like I'm having to depend on someone else. But a little bit, okay, I don't want to be famous. Like I like the idea of walking down the street and people, you can just walk down the street. There's no media following you.
Yeah.
A little bit of notoriety as an artist would be good.
So a bit of both.
A bit of both, but I probably would choose, I would go with the money.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
I definitely am more of an early bird. I don't get up super early, but I usually wake up around 7.
Okay.
And I mean, if I had to get up earlier for work, I would. But I like starting my day again around 7. I don't like sleeping into 9, 10
Mm-hmm.
because it makes me feel more productive.
Yeah, for sure.
It gives me a bit more time for myself so that I can start my day with a meditation, prayer, maybe even journaling, which it just sets a nice tone to my day.
Yeah.
And then I guess I go to bed fairly early. I usually go to bed at 10.
Oh yeah, that's early.
That is early?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay, then I guess that early bird.
Yeah, for sure. If you were guaranteed the correct answer to one question in life, what question would you ask?
This was another hard one. What is the meaning of life, or why are we all here? Because I have no idea what the answer would be.
Well, there you go. There's your question.
Yeah.
If you had 24 hours left on Earth, what would you do?
Yeah, see, there's so many things I still want to do. I've got my family out in BC that I haven't seen for a little bit, so I'd like to visit them. Or maybe I don't know what's possible, but I'd also like to go to Paris, France. Hopefully I can maybe take them with me.
Yeah.
Because I have not yet seen the Louvre or even seen Paris. And inside the Louvre, there's so many historical artworks, including the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, there absolutely is. I've been there twice.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
This is in my dream. I'm going to make it happen eventually.
There you go.
Maybe bring my family with me. They can spend the day with them.
There you go.
In the place I desperately want to go.
Who would you say have been the 3 most influential people in your life?
I would like to say there's some very spiritually evolved people. I look up to Brene Brown. There's Wayne Dyer. I'm reading Joe Dispenza's book. But and who else? Eckhart Tolle. I think he's amazing. However, I don't know if they've actually had the most influence on my life. I would like to say them, but in terms of who's really influenced me the most, I would say number 1 is my mother. Then 2, my grandma, her mom, and my auntie Stephanie. These women are all, I guess I have a lot of powerful women in my life.
Yeah.
They're very smart. All of them are quite attractive, hardworking, opinionated, and they all played a pivotal role in, they teaching me how I needed to be in the world during my formative years. So some of this was definitely positive, but because I was such a people pleaser and I'm a lot more sensitive than them, I think it was also part of the reason why I kind of lost who I was a little bit.
Right.
Which was not any of their intention. But yeah, they played a pivotal role in shaping my behavior in my formative years.
Those 3 pillars of strength.
Yes.
Speaking of power and strength, and what does the word empowerment mean to you?
To gain confidence in oneself, to become stronger in oneself so that I can be more autonomous in my life, be more confident in the decisions I make, be more confident when setting boundaries with other people.
Okay.
That's empowerment.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
To trust the process, trust that the universe has my back, relax a little, and enjoy life.
Lastly, if you could step into my shoes, what would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Where do I go from here?
Okay.
And I guess the answer for me is still I have to work my recovery daily, because without that, I don't have anything. But my goal is to just continue to draw, paint, or digitally draw every day, and then also see where that takes me. And work on the business aspect. I have to put my recovery first and then those things second. So it kind of is coming slowly.
Yeah.
But I think if it's meant to happen, it will. And when I'm ready for it, it will
come.
Yeah.
Yeah. The business side of thing, I think we as artists have a much harder time accepting that we have to deal with that side of the business, because typically I would think that as artists, we just want to create our art and that's it. And
yes.
But I mean, obviously, if you're running a business, if you turn your art into a business, you can't do that unless you have other people to run that part of it for you. But when you first start out, I mean, you have to learn the business side of things too.
You got to wear many hats.
Yes,
and I still now putting more of my energy into creating. I did actually, I've got to send you the link. I did start a website. It needs to be updated, but it's coming along.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Danika, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today and share a bit of your story and journey and insights. I appreciate you taking the time to participate in the podcast and share with us here today. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you, Brad. It's been a pleasure being on your podcast.
I wish you all the success in your recovery, and as an artist, I'm sure you'll go on to do great things. Your artwork is beautiful, so just keep at it.
That's my plan. Exactly.
Thank you very much, Danika. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest was Danika Scott. She is an artist based here in Toronto. Thanks, Danika. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.